For several years, researchers affiliated with mediaX at Stanford University have been studying how to measure and increase the productivity of knowledge workers. This workshop builds on insights developed from that research. We're undertaking an exploration of smart workspaces in the future.
What is suddenly possible? You will find sort of at the edge of science, at the edge of institutions like Stanford, where academics are working on the next thing actually that's going to be possible.
The workshop is facilitated by mediaX partner Think. The participants in the workshop include people from Stanford University, research leaders. It includes people from our member organizations. They come from the United States, they come from China, they come from Japan, they come from Taiwan, they come from Europe. And in a very short time are working together, co-creating visions of the future.
It used to be you went to school, then you went to work, then you had leisure. And we're now going to a blended style. It's increasingly hard to disconnect. Do I have access to my social networks, to my corporate networks? Our actualization is tied into our connectivity and our ability to build these networks.
What is the future of online work? Can you, for example, spend all of your time working a little bit on this project, a little bit on that project, a little bit on this project, as a programmer, as a singer, as an artist, whatever it would be? And can we reciprocally, as the mediating technology, draw together people who have all made themselves available? Could we bring together groups of diverse experts and make them more powerful than they would be otherwise? I think we need to stop thinking of crowdsourcing as a bunch of people who are very generic cogs in a wheel. Could we create flash companies, flash little teams that can act beyond the capabilities of the traditional organizations because they're flexible, well-tuned to a specific task?
We are increasingly working as contractors, more like producing a movie with people coming in for a project and then leaving and going to find another project again, versus working for a corporation for a large period of time.
Think about a future of crowd work. Instead of only working for a company, you have the opportunity to choose to live sort of a life as an extreme contractor, where we can guarantee you as a platform a living wage based on what the kinds of things you do, and you're able to pick here and there the projects that you really want to work on and not the ones that you don't want to. What's the role that design and technology can play in making these things become like mini instant companies? Could you build an entire branch to a startup for a day and then poof, disappear?
You may be in headquarters and your teammates may be on location, but you are not aware of their infrastructure. How do you make these choices to receive the information, accelerate problem solving, and feeding back input to the local site?
Name me a device that takes power, costs more than $100, and doesn't have a chip in it. And now those are increasingly communicating. The growth of devices talking to devices, the Internet of Things, many different names. Already today, over half the traffic on the Internet, there's not a person in the loop. So it's machines talking to machines, devices talking to devices.
Today, consumers, individuals, you and I, we want our software that we use in the workplace to resemble that which we use in our personal time. And so now, today, we see 95% of the workforce use at least one personal device at work, and what's more is 50% are required to.
Computing has shifted from being the tool that I use to get the work done to the thing that actually connects me to the work in the first place. And I think that's an incredibly subtle yet powerful and impactful shift. Because now if the computer's in the middle, we can design that relationship.
workspace is not only work and is not only space. I think it is intersection of work, live and play. There is really continuum, and that continuum usually does not like discrete boundaries or discrete spaces. You need to have really adaptive, reconfigurable workspaces that I can in some way play with to fit my daily routines. We like to make sure that building is treated as a living organism, living space, and that you have the flow of the information in a such way that you know how that building is being used or how people inside that building do feel.
This is a woman who's interacting with a robotic desk drawer system. The vision behind this idea is thinking about how the advent of robotics technology is going to enable the tools of the office to be more actively supporting your work practice. When we look at this, both the screen and the on-screen and in-space motion are happening simultaneously. It's a lot clearer to see what the person on the other side is trying to do.
As we instrument our spaces, both physical and virtual, question is, what do we do with all this big data? And how can we empower the remote knowledge workers and distributed learners to self-regulate, to gain empathy towards other participants?
We're now in this inflection point where there's so much information available to us. Today, on average, human knowledge doubles every 13 months, and IBM predicts that with the build of the Internet of Things, this is going to decrease to, on average, every 12 hours.
Data created by you is your data. You as individual who created those digital traces in space and time should have ultimate right to decide, am I going to share that, or am I going to keep that private or even delete?
Sometimes if you put yourself out of the way, the idea can come through you instead of us thinking of everything. So sometimes you just kind of have to let go, but that takes a lot of trust to just do that. It would be really nice if there are ideas that are out there, ideas that you think this is not possible, like more crazy ideas.
How might we design a smart technology-enabled workspace of 2025 that improves both the productivity and the well-being of workers? This is the task that we're given at the beginning, and then a lot of work was spent. They went through a creative process to come up with an exciting vision and future scenario on the topic, and a concrete sort of early phase idea, maybe a product or a service that is a manifestation of that vision. The creative process we went through, we first spent quite a bit of time on sensing, which is really understanding the problem data that we're working on, understanding the user better, what their needs are, and finding new insights that were then used to create visions of what the future might look like in 10 years from now. Prototyping, spending time on getting users into the room here, having early versions of the prototype tested with the users, getting feedback on it, improving it. And then we spent quite a bit of time on scaling. And scaling basically is designing for scale. Can we bake in a few tactics that will make it more likely that our early stage ideas and our vision will come to fruition in an exponential way, not just linearly, but really grow fast and accelerated fashion. It was quite messy. You can see that around here, but also messy inside everybody's heads. You can't see that, but maybe you can feel it. These ideas are really sort of in a very fresh, early stage. They're really vulnerable at this point. There's probably something that doesn't quite work yet. This is remember this early stage.
How fascinating!
So what we've developed is a process and a product that's both synchronous and asynchronously can be applied through direct neural stimulation and transmission to do collaboration anywhere in the world at any time.
This afternoon I'm going to present our service, which is a digital personalized assistant. We name it Bob. Bob lives in your home, work, your kids' school, your companies, or the company next door.
The platform is a group of machine learning that is coming in to stabilize this whole situation. So for employees, we're looking to stabilize the job search. We're also looking to stabilize professional development and some of the administrative tasks that you take on when you become a freelance worker. And for employers, we're looking to stabilize this kind of recruitment. As you look out onto like the sea of applicants, how do you pick who's going to be best for you, who's going to work best within your system?
Our system have at least 3 features. One is real-time, always-on monitoring system. The second one is adaptive and personalized and closed-loop solution. The third one is proactive feedback.
So the One Touch allows Lisa to take the heavy lifting of her day and ultimately thereby lower her stress. Our machine learning algorithms adjust Lisa's environment to her every need and every desire and automates unnecessary tasks. The One Touch actually comes in 2 editions, the Enterprise Edition and the Personal Edition.
So Portable is really focusing on an offering for a collaboration space that will enable anyone, no matter what your age, disabilities, location, culture, and gender, to really be part of a team and contribute and work towards grand challenges. Allow them to synchronize, co-create, and co-control virtual and physical product models.
What Eighth Cube does is create this platform for not only virtual reality with your vision, but it also embeds other senses. It has packed into all 5 senses. It's a headset that allows me to go anywhere, allow me to do anything at any time that I want to do it.
When we go into skill space, we can see a universe of planets representing different people. And so each holographic planet is all of the skills of a person, their attitudes and their behaviors that have been absorbed through the nanosensors. And so it's an objective and impartial representation of their skills.
Given the scenarios that you've heard described and the futures that you've heard presented, what are the questions that come to your mind now that we should begin trying to answer with research? One is, what happens when the work is done for us and we have a lot more time? What do we do with that time? What will leisure be like? That calls also into question, what will be the socioeconomic state of the world? Will the benefits of the Smart WorkSpaces apply to all? Now, there were several questions about the data that is a part of many of the scenarios, and those questions had to do with what the access to that data is, what the terms of service for its use might be, how the principles of fairness would be applied to its use, and also some of the issues of privacy and identity. And that people might, in addition to being able to opt in, they might be able to opt out. Many different types of measurement were mentioned, including measurement of sentiment, and this represents a very important field of research that's underway now and is moving along. And how skills would be measured continues to be a challenge and would continue into the future. So great questions. I have had several of the participants say to me, wow, what a smart group of people this is. And I want to say back to you, it's you who make it. And you who, by your contributions and your participations, have made this workshop a success and made it meaningful to yourselves. And it's you who make the mediaX community strong and vibrant, and I want to thank you all for that.